Jump scare, no makeup. Hello everyone, it is Lulu. Different format today. I'm trying a little voiceover for our get ready video. I'm going to almost essentially ignore all of the makeup part because I don't feel I have enough knowledge and know-how to tell you how to do your makeup, so you can find that from someone else at the current moment. You might see a jump cut here or there. That would be me editing out my wife, because that's not fair to her to have her in a video walking around in the background. Now, I sped this footage up about 15 times. Normally this took 30 to 45 minutes generally. I do essentially try something new every time and may or may not work, and I don't think it worked out terribly well this time. I haven't gotten to it in the recording yet, but I do not think my eyes came out that great. I definitely missed the eyelash placement, but that's okay. We're living, we're learning, we're figuring it out as we go. Now in the future, I might make a separate video for each part of the getting ready process, like makeup versus breastplates itself and body, and like different kinds of dresses I would use to hide like seams and shapewear stuff. I don't feel like this video is as extensive as I wanted it to be, but I do want to go into each one individually just to sort of flesh it out and give you a better understanding of breastplates versus hip pads and how I dress in order to hide some of these things to make it give that better illusion and that believability. One thing that I don't go over or use here is a waist cincher. A waist cincher would really help to bring in your waist and your stomach and give a better hourglass shape. I just personally didn't feel like doing it today. If I really wanted to and really wanted to give that super voluptuous figure, I might do that more, but I haven't used one in a while. Get back to the makeup. The next thing I'm going to try to do is probably my eyebrows, since I don't do them and don't know how to do them. Also, again, to reiterate, I am no expert on this. I'm not as good as, say, a drag queen or anything. I'm just a person trying to look pretty and dress nice and feel good about myself. And here's our finished makeup. Now we're moving on to our hair. And I know a lot of people don't have long hair like I do, but I think an important thing to do is to brush her out. Even if you're using a wig, brush out your wig. Here I'm just showing you how my makeup doesn't go all the way up to the top of my forehead. Well, we're using a clip-on bang, so that will hide that. So I didn't actually need to do my makeup all the way up to the very top of my hairline. Once the clip-on bang is on, I will brush them out together so they don't look two separate pieces or two separate units on my head. The thing I do before moving on to the body is I put on my glasses. I got a pair of feminine glasses and sunglasses just for when I dress, just to add a little bit extra to the look. Here we have our face and our hair done. Woo! On to the question I get the most is, what breastplate do I wear? I use the Breastform Store's Divine Collection Athena. Now the next thing I have to do is put up my hair. I don't want my hair getting caught underneath the back like sticky straps of the breastplate. I will be showing you how I put the breastplate on, but it will be censored and in 1x speed so you can understand that it's not just a slap on and go. It does take me some time to align and adjust exactly where I want the breastplate to land on my body, because I have to center it with my belly button, and I also don't want either of the breasts to be above or below each other. We want to have everything very centered and symmetrical. You can see the two shoulder straps coming up. If I were going to go out somewhere or wearing it for a long period of time, I would use a silicone glue spray from the Breastform Store just to keep the breastplate from coming up from in the back. Now you might be sitting there asking yourself, Lulu, how do you hide these straps in the back? First, I never use anything strapless. Second, I always have a little bit of a strap or a sleeve, and I use my hair to help hide anything else that's remaining in the back. You can see here I'm going through my last final adjustments and pressing it down just so it's adhered to my body. And then after this, we're going to go and grab a bra. And the bra helps the breastplate to stay on and attached to me for a little bit, at least while I'm getting dressed. From here on, for at least the breastplate, it's pretty easy. All we're doing is just putting a bra on and just adjusting, making sure everything's all nice and tight and secure. Now while I go ahead and adjust my bra, I'll just show you the specifications of what I got. I got the Divine Collection Athena. I got breast form softness was a natural breast feeling, so it's just a little bit softer. We got the size medium 4, got skin tone vanilla. Our nipple size was Lola 50, the nipple color was cinnamon, and the breast form customization was light veins and realistic texture. Right here, we're gonna put on a necklace just to hide that top seam a little bit more on the neck. It doesn't exactly hide it, but it just sort of helps to mask it a little bit. If I really wanted to fully hide this top seam right here, I would probably use a larger necklace, but I'd feel like those aren't terribly realistic, at least for me. This smaller one just has 2 chains, so it helps to hide it a little bit better. And right here you can see that my hair really helps to hide all the back seams and the straps, as I mentioned before. And we also have our finished breastplate look. Next, I'm going to be doing our hips and butt pads. However, I can't really show most of it, so we're using shorts and shapewear. I'm also using a tuck it up gaff just to smooth all the bits down. And here we have our Divine Collection Nikki, the butt pads that I use. Lately I've been placing them first and at a little bit of an angle so that front part, that little bit of a thigh pad, can go onto my thigh and create a little bit of shape there. Now you'll see that the Nikki does provide a little bit around the hip, but mostly obviously in the back. And I'm highlighting that shape here with my fingers just to show you exactly where they landed on me. However, I still wasn't really happy with the placement here. They're a little off. The right pad is a little bit too low for me. Next up is one of my favorite parts. It's our hip pads, which is the Divine Collection Jolie from the Breast Form store as well. Right here, I'm just showing you approximately where I'm going to place it on my side, just so it has like a very large coverage from about my waist down to about the middle of my thigh. Here is all the shapewear on. You can see that the shape is filled out much more. The back looks a lot better, and our hips are very accentuated. Normally I don't wear shorts like this with my padding, so it looks a little different to me, but when you see it in the dress, it'll look way better. And here you can see the shape really comes out when I sit down too. Here is a green dress that does really well hiding the top half at least. However, you'll see later that the slit down the bottom doesn't hide my shapewear shorts very well, so I have to change out of that. The dress does come with this little belt that you can use to help cinch your waist a little bit and accentuate that part too. First, this dress looks really good, right? With the little bell, and the hips look really nice and everything's really good. However, you'll see in a little bit that you will see my shapewear on the bottom in the slit right there. This is generally a type of dress that I like to avoid. Here we have a very different style of dress that I don't normally wear, a very flowy skirt and very not fitted. Generally like to wear tighter fitting dresses just to emphasize that body I work so hard to sort of sculpt. Right here as I'm sitting, it's really hard for even me to notice where the breastplate lines start and end. Right here I'm just showing you how this dress lets me put my hair up if I want to, since the dress hides the seams of the breastplate pretty well. But I just personally prefer to keep my hair down. Also just showing you how easily this dress can hide the seams of any shapewear, and you really can't ever tell where it is or when it starts or when it ends. Just to note that the dress does come in at the waist a little bit, so it does give me that extra shape there too. We're also showing off our hips and the rest of the body, the thighs, and then you can also see that even without me pulling on the dress, you can still see that little bit of line of booty. Obviously, when I pull on it, the booty is way more pronounced, and you can see how much shape that really gives me and adds to my body. I never wear flowy dresses, so here's just me having fun with how it moves. Oh, and here she is, my favorite dress ever. This dress is from Opali. The bottom of the dress comes right down to above my knee, so that it's pretty easy to walk still, and it covers every part of my shapewear, as you can see here. However, the bottom is asymmetrical, so that little bit of shapewear does come out, but if I just pull down on it, it shouldn't be a problem anymore. See, and just like that, that line is gone. You can barely even see it. It just looks like ruching at that point. I tend to stick with dresses with patterns and ruching just to keep all of my lines and shapes hidden. We can also see here, if I use a little bit of shapewear in the waist, then we would be looking even better, but I don't even care. The booty's looking right and the body's looking T. Hold on, you thought we were done. Can't forget about something actually kind of important. It's our scents. I use Victoria's Secret Bombshell. I really like it. I have it in spray form and I also have it in roll-on form. It really isn't anything fancy. I just really like the smell of passion fruit. My perfume really helps me when I go out because it makes me feel more confident and smell more confident. Because hey, who doesn't want to smell sexy? I usually use the spray before I go out, and then I keep the roll-on in my purse so that whenever I need to reapply, I can. And there's our finished look. We have our 30-minute makeup, we have our hair, glasses, our shapewear, and everything. Now I might make a video on each one of these topics individually, maybe except for scents since I only use the one, just to give you a better understanding of each of them and give you a little bit deeper of a dive on all of them. Anyway, that's how I get dressed when I want to go out or even when I just want to feel pretty. The whole process takes me about an hour to an hour and a half. I think my next video might be just my favorite products and what I like to use, which includes most of the things here. If you want to see that, please subscribe, and I'll see you later.